My footrest.
Alive,
Oh.
live, sir. Live, sir.
Alive.
Alive.
Okay. Good evening and welcome you all for another Expert Speaks. I would certainly love to introduce our expert maybe a little later, but as a ritual and as usually what we do is to seek the blessings of our Chancellor, Amma Mada Madanamai Deviji, through our Swamiji Brahmachari Maheshwara Chaitanyaji, who would be lighting the lamp of knowledge and then take us through the blessings of Amma. And before I do so, just a brief on, for those of you who have tuned in for the first time, who haven't seen Brahmachari on screen, it's my pleasure to introduce him as the chairman of admissions for Amrita School of Engineering for all the 4 campuses of Chennai, Amritapuri, Bangalore, and Coimbatore. He also holds the responsibility of the Deputy Controller of Examinations at Amrita School of Engineering, Amritapuri. And he's the sought-after person. I always mention this whenever I introduce Swamiji, that whenever we get in trouble as far as the technology snags are concerned, he is a veteran in solving all those technical snags that come through during our webinars and off webinars. So Swamiji also a keen contester in programming, and he's a regional director for the ICPC, which is International Collegiate for Programming Contest, and he was responsible in taking quite a few students for this programming contest for the last 12 to 14 years, and he was also awarded the Leadership Award by the ICPC in the year 2016 for his long 1 decade of service under this programming contest. And congratulations to you, Swamiji, for achieving this additional feather on your cap. And let's pray that you get many more such feathers on your cap, and let there be no space for feathers to get in, so that you change yet another cap to hold those additional feathers that would come onto you, Swamiji. Welcome to Swamiji, and let's have the prayer along with seeking the blessings of our Chancellor, Mata Amritanandamai Deviji. Thank you, Swamiji, for showering your blessings across the globe, and we pray that we are out of this COVID-19 situation, and let these prayers bring in more of good peace and good health to the entire globe. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for doing that for us. Yes, before I go on to our special guest, as an expert who will be speaking on a particular subject, on a topic which I would come back a little later. For those of you who haven't heard us before about Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, we are indeed pleasure, which is my pleasure to introduce this university as the 4th best university in the country, and we have been awarded the 4th ranking as per the NIRF, that's National Ranking Framework, wherein which we have been moving. We have moved from the 8th position to the 4th position. So if someone asks us which is the 4th best university in our country, it is nothing but Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. And this happened during the lockdown. And the second one is we are the best private university across the globe as far the Times Higher Education is concerned. And that is yet another feather on our cap, that we are the first private best university as far the Times ranking concerned. And recently we also been given the 4th best university status by the MHRD for innovations. So these are the few achievements that we had received during the last 5 months of lockdown, and let's hope that we get on to many such recognitions in the futures to come. So that's all about our university, and we have all streams barring law. So you pick up anything you want. Engineering, Amada School of Engineering, we have the School of Business, we have Amada School of Arts and Science, Amada School of Dentistry, Amada School of Medicine, Amada School of Biotechnology, Amada School of Ayurveda, Amada School of Education. So you name anything we have except for Amada School of Law. And hopefully, as things would happen in the next few years, that we also have a law school within our umbrella of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. So all of you are eagerly waiting. We have a special guest here, Jaswinder Pannu Powar. And just to run through her profile, she had completed her physics graduation from the best of those colleges in Mumbai, that's the Elphinstone College. And she lived in Saudi for almost 3 years, and then Bahrain for a decade or so as a housewife. And what a surprising thing is to note about her is she has also served as a swimming instructor. Right, and she's taking care of 2 of our sons, right? And at a young age of 37, she decided to step out and work. But however, realized that her qualification was slightly outdated. This is what she says, not me. So don't catch me wrong. And hence she joined the Banking and the Finance Institute, BIBF, to grab an advanced diploma in risk management, which included topics like business and finance, underwriting, risk, and UK insurance law. So this is what she felt, and I'm very happy that she felt that the outdated degree didn't help her to get to the right type of job what she was seeking for. And here she took yet another degree for herself to see that she gets the right employment of her choice. Good, well done. Later on, she joined as a financial advisor in Nexus Financial Brokers in Dubai. After a year or so, she moved on to the United Kingdom and worked at, I don't know, how do I, Leicestershire County Council as a business support officer, wherein she completed her certificate in project management. She also tried her hands on certification in English language and certification from Cambridge. She is an SME business consultant with an accountancy firm supporting young entrepreneurs with their business. Further, she has also spent considerable time with young adults. Oh, young adults, that's the right way in India, on overseas opportunities. So anyone has any such doubts and clarification that need to be attended to, you have an opportunity to clear what that one could do for your future studies and further studies overseas, right? So she would like to help you all on that front too. So altogether, her journey as a student, as an advisor, has given her the insight to young minds in decision making and following instruction. When I say decision making, is one of those toughest of the task, even at an age of experience of, let's say, you're a guy with 40 or 50 years of experience. Decision delay is decision denied. So I think overall the profile looks, oh wow, wow, awesome status. And let me, on behalf of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, ma'am, welcome Jaswinder Pannu for this talk on positive side of the current situation of COVID-19. I think there's positive opportunities in COVID-19. You have a tendency to peep at me and say, what is he talking nonsense when people are suffering across the globe with this COVID-19 and we are talking about the positive side of COVID-19. But then every coin has 2 sides, but we only talk about the dark side of whatever is happening today. But then our expert Jaswinder feels that there is always a better side of the coin, and that is the positive side of the coin where she should be addressing all of us. Ma'am, welcome once again on behalf of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. I'm really honored to be here welcoming you from all the way from UK, and in UK the time is around 11:30 hours. So it's early morning for her, and we in India are getting close to the evening. All right, we are getting close to 4:15 now. As usual, whichever webinar we are on, whichever talk we are on, it will be our Swamiji who will lead the talk with his million, billion, trillion questions. Nothing to worry about it. He generally only asks very simple questions, but the answers would be difficult for anybody who attends this webinar. Just the lighter side of my moderation. So over to you, Swamiji, and let's all welcome her for her presence here with us for the next 45 minutes of this particular webinar, Expert Speaks. Over to you, Swamiji.
So welcome, ma'am, for the session. I'm glad that you appeared through the technology from the UK. And I have a very simple question. I'm not sure if it is simple or tough. Is there anything called as positive?
First, I would like to thank the management team to bring two communities together, all parents and students and everyone. That's really great. This is the positive side of COVID-19, that we all are together. Otherwise, I would have never appeared on this screen. You see, so this is the positive thing, that both sides are coming together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer in points, because then it's easy to remember. So I think the first point is that we need to remember that this is a global pause. We all, like globally, we are in the same boat. So there is absolutely no competition. The competition has been removed. So I think that's the positive side we should look at. The second thing is, all these times, we are so busy with our lives, tuition, swimming classes, badminton classes, maths classes, all sorts of classes, and we don't have that family moment, especially if both the parents are working. So this is like a forced family moment for us, a forced pause for a fast track generation, I feel. So we should look at this very positively. There's nothing to panic about. The third point is, what we can do is, now let's talk about direct benefits. This was just like a talk show sort of. What is the direct benefit? Number one is, it has brought the technology center stage. Like for me, I think yesterday Janani took some time to explain to me how to log into Microsoft Teams. So now it's like easy for me. Earlier it was like something, I don't know what it is. So technology is like, now parents are also learning, even we all are becoming, very hands-on with this technology. Otherwise we wouldn't have tried all this. We will be like same old. So technology is center stage, which is a good news. And the other thing is, some of the tools that we use to deliver our qualification or knowledge is missing. These tools were always missing. For example, my experience says that we've got top-notch engineers, we've got top-notch consultants, architects coming from India. But when it's time to deliver their knowledge, they just fail a little bit because of their English language, let's say. So English language is not a subject anymore. It's a tool. It's like a screwdriver that we use to unlock things. And this is a good time to practice your sort of a transferable skills and tools like English language. So this is a good time. So it's not that we are wasting our time. We can always use this time very positively. We can use these tools. We can learn, instead of learning these tools at the age of 18, 19 or 20, when it's time, when it's like show time. That's the time, children are running to give their English tests, IELTS. Why UK, Canada and US ask for IELTS? Because they feel that the children, those who are coming from outside these countries, they lack English language. And that's the reason they want high scores in English language. So why can't we just use this time to build up our tools? So that is also a good point. And the other thing is physical fitness. I don't know, maybe because I'm from a defense background, my dad was an athletic coach. So for us, physical fitness is always a priority, always a priority. I just want to give an example here. When my son was in 10th standard, when it just started that year, the PE sir arranged a meeting with me. So I was wondering why PE sir is calling me now. My son's board is coming, very beginning of the year, and I had to go and meet him. And what's the first thing that he told me was, because Mansingh is in 10th now and there is a lot of study pressure, he should or he must join a gym. So that was the advice I got from the PE sir. And it was very easy for me to absorb that because I myself is into fitness. So physical fitness is also very important to support mental fitness. And I think this is a good time. Pandemic is a good time when children can concentrate a little bit on physical fitness rather than always academic chasing. So I think this is, so even if they cannot go out, there are other things that they can do at home. So there are many positive sides we can look into. You know, Swamiji, I just want to say something here. If you compare UK students, let's say 10 standard students of UK and 10 standard students of India, please don't mind, but these boys will be like big. They will look full of energy. Whereas our boys, even though they are very, very intelligent, the Indian students, they will be like sort of the shoulders going down and they look tired. They look with big specs. Why? Because we always give priority to education. I'm not saying don't give priority, but we have to level out somewhere. So I think it's a good time if we can just concentrate rather than, you know, getting into panic. If we can just look at our children's physical fitness for time being, okay, they're not going to school, no problem. Let's play football if that, you know, if it permits. So I think there's nothing to worry about as such, especially when educators like Swamiji and you all are doing your job. The parents can take a back seat. Instead of worrying, I think they can take a back seat. This is a very good time. They can, even husband, wife, both can get into cooking.
I thought it should be let the wife can get into cooking instead of the husband is already into cooking, at least washing the utensils.
Husbands are already cooking, yes. The wife can get into cooking.
Yeah,
yes.
Wife can get into cooking. That would be the better say. Somebody over to you for your.
No, then see, ma'am, my question is basically how do you think that we can train ourselves to accept the situation? Like you told, a lot of activities or the way in which this time can be utilized effectively, perhaps for the future. So how do you train your mind to accept the situation, to invest the time in putting efforts to, you know, something like physical activities or whatever it is useful for the future? How do you think that it is possible for us to train the mind?
Swamiji, I would say train your mind is because the mind is actually not doing anything. And that's the reason we force ourselves to train. If we just become a little bit busy in life, especially talking to our kids and, you know, talking to our partner, which we miss out sometimes, you know, small things. I don't want to get into very big things, small things. So even women, if, for example, men or women, whoever is doing the household chores, if the helper is not coming, I think then physically we become so busy that we don't need time to train our minds. Our mind listens to our body. It happens. You know, I feel that way. We don't need to get complicated, Swamiji, here, that how to train our mind. We don't need to train our mind. We need to train or discipline our physical bodies, actually. And that's how the mind gets trained, I feel. I just feel that. What do you say? If you want to
I don't know. I don't know. I would ask, ma'am, you know, unless you're physically fit.
Yeah.
Can't you be mentally strong? To be mentally strong, is it a must that we should be physically fit? Is it that what you're saying?
See, again, what is the definition of physical fitness? Physical fitness does not mean Dara Singh. Physical fitness means a person who can perform their chores, physical chores, day-to-day chores, and they're not feeling tired or lazy.
Absolutely.
That's physical fitness.
They don't fall sick quite often.
Yeah, fall sick or they have a smile on their face. I would just say that is physical fitness. You know, physical fitness does not mean that we need to be
six packs, you know,
heavy duty sports. Just the day-to-day flexibility. You know, I see many women complaining, we get tired, this is what is happening. Not even once they thought that they are aging, they are 47, they need to check their vitamin D. So these are small things that we need to, you know, towards physical fitness. And as you said, if you're physical fit, the mind gets fit automatically.
So there's a question here before Swami gets into the second question. One of those in the chat box, I have a question for you, ma'am. Does the mind control body? Does the mind control body?
Yeah, again, it's like answering the question whether chicken came first or the egg came first.
All right.
Yeah, it is like it's a two-way process. Yeah, so mind is controlling your body. Of course, mind is controlling your body. But then end of the day, what is body? Body is a hard mass. It's made up of muscles. How your muscles will work, even if the instructions are coming, if there is no strength in the muscles to move, the mind can't tell you to run if the legs are not working. So I think they just complement each other. I just see there are two types of people. We all are not same. We all are different on energy levels. I'm more a physical kind of person, but there can be a person who is very calm and very good with its mental power. So he's not that physically active, but still calm. So I think it's person to person.
Absolutely.
Some are like full of energy, physical energy, and some people are full of mental energy. But then end of the day, the outcome should be that we are positive.
What about you, ma'am? You're mentally energetic and physically energetic.
Both. I think physically, yes, I'm a very motivated, self-motivated person. So things do go wrong on my side as well. I do have bad mornings, but then I feel it's
but
okay.
You don't have a bad day, only bad morning, right?
Yes.
You don't have a bad day. I go through bad days in my life. So sometimes bad months, bad weeks.
Yeah.
Over to you, Swamiji. I think Swamiji is waiting. He's saying you asked me to lead the talk and you've been talking with ma'am for so long. Come on, that's not correct. Over to you, Swamiji, for your question.
No, I just wanted to share something. Now, what I have noticed always is, one year back, I went for a marathon. That was something like 10 kilometers marathon. That was in Coimbatore, here just near our campus. So what I have realized is that, as you told, when we are able to activate our body or keep our body engaged in one way or the other, the best thing, the outcome is that we feel so confident.
Yes.
Confidence is something that which we gain. But then for me to decide, okay, I'll go for marathon. So how do you think that decision can be made?
Yeah, that is again motivation. Your mental thing comes into that. Who pushes you to do this? It can be an outside force or it can be your mind. So in my case, it's my own mind. But maybe in some cases, somebody has to motivate so that there's an external force. So we can say this person's mind is not self-motivating, but they need somebody to buck them up. Okay, come on, let's go that way.
So how is it possible that we can be self-motivated?
Self-motivation, it takes time for some people, I would say. So it's like a habit. Self-motivation is like a habit, you know, people learn from their own experience. So if one time they go for a marathon, maybe it's an external force who has allowed them to go to marathon. But then when they get that experience, oh, I felt good when I came from marathon. I felt confident. I felt fit. I felt, yes, I can face something. And then they get into that habit of self-motivation. Now they already know that something physical has initiated that confidence in them.
Okay. So, Krish, I think you should take it over now.
Yeah, I will. Swami, you'll be waiting, coming back, or what is your plan of action?
I have to go now. Excuse me.
No issues. We are thankful to you for having come here, and thank you so much, Swamiji, for your presence here. So I'll take it on with ma'am. I don't know what happened to ma'am's video.
Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, you're able to hear me? Even UK has problems with the net, so it doesn't really matter. Ma'am? Ma'am? Yeah. Even manager, is ma'am able to hear me?
No, sir. Some network issue.
Some issue. So we'll wait for till some time, right?
I'll just call her.
Yeah. Okay, she's gone.
So what?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, what I have always felt is, see, one way or the other, it is very important that we should learn how to accept the situation, because even if it is a student, if it is a teacher, whether it is a parent, it is very evident that during these times we have all learned to accept the situation, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not. It is very important to see to it that how we were able to adapt to the situation. So what I have always felt is that we should always look for the things which are necessary in life. For example, let us say in case of a student who needs a laptop or a mobile. Earlier, I know all the parents were not making the students run away from the mobile, or they never allowed them to touch the mobile or laptop. But now it is just the opposite. So if you are able to give proper guidance to the students, proper guidance to the children on how and why or where it has to be used, technology can be used, and what are the consequences if they misuse it. So these all things are things needs to be educated properly, and it has to be given in a positive sense, so that it helps them to grow. Basically, they'll be able to get more discipline through freedom. So that is what I have always observed.
Discipline through freedom.
Discipline through freedom, yes.
But is it right to give freedom to our children unless they are matured enough to understand the real true meaning of freedom?
That will totally depend on how the parents are able to manage them.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't know about maybe what age or what class you could tell the viewers that a parent can give freedom to their children.
See, ideally, it has to be something like 8th standard, 10th standard. It is possible, but at the same time, it will totally depend on the level of maturity of each child. For example, if you are able to drive their intellect on, I mean the intellectual skills, or their talents, their creativity. If you are able to understand that, then it is easy possible for us to engage them in their creativity. So that nurturing of that talent has to happen. It takes a lot of time. It takes good effort. It requires good observation. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So what I have felt is that will help them to what do you say? Help them to grow their creativity and talent, and that also will help them to gain more and more confidence.
And when you say about freedom, I mean, once you cannot give a total freedom to a child. I always see the parents are behind the children. Even the freedom is given, but then the parents are behind. Like we call them as helicopter parents. The child is left free. Moment the child goes around, the parents come as a helicopter, keep watching what the daughter is doing, what the son is doing. So what do you say? You should give when you have the confidence in a child that your child has. She won't cross those Lakshman Regas. She knows what is good and bad, what is right and wrong. When it is totally convinced by a parent that my child can be totally left free, should a parent be still behind the child? What I'm trying to ask is maybe after the child is given freedom, maybe 6 months or 1 year, the child could change their mind for doing something wrong. Will that happen, Swamiji, or let us give totally a freedom for our child to do whatever she or he wants, or should they monitor each of their actions and movements? What is your suggestion?
it has to be completely monitored. It has to be completely monitored, and it depends on case to case. I know my friends' children, they are given, of course, as you said, maybe total freedom, but there are some parents who are not, who never give much freedom, and we should be able to answer their questions in a proper way with scientific reasons. Whatever they do, whatever we ask them to do. So that will help them to grow, that will help them to think. See, ultimately, it is a matter of creating thought process in their mind so that they will themselves feel more positive. So then there is no need to give any sort of ideas to them. It will happen naturally, but of course over a period of time. May not be in the beginning, may not be in the initial stages, but maybe in the later stages.
What is your thought about what do you think about giving like today, as you rightly said, the laptops and smartphones are given because that has become a necessity for the learning process. So I also understand from few other parents and teachers that giving a mobile phone to a child with the net facility would take them towards so many activities which they should never go through. Right, and that's been happening. So I think giving such net and a smartphone in the hands of children, even who are really, undoubtedly the best of the best child for a parent. I've seen many of them going through so many such videos and these and that. How do we control this? How do we come to know that the child is using it for wrong purposes? And is there any sign that can be seen in a child that instead of looking at things that they should look? And how do we stop them from doing such practices which otherwise could lead them to a dangerous situation at a later stage? What is your thinking about it, Swamiji? Does it happen? Is it happening? What do you think about that? Is it happening? Misused?
Yeah, basically what happens is, see, suppose if we give them freedom, what I have realized or what I have seen among the students is that we should be able to
Welcome back.
in a proper way.
Yeah. So, Swamiji, let's complete this. There may be few people listening to you. Madam has come back. Yeah.
So we should be able to guide them in a proper way, but at the same time, we should make them exposed to the reality. For example, what we have seen recently in Delhi, the students from a school, they used Instagram platform to expose their girlfriends or the students in their own class. So I feel that these things should be informed to our children, the younger generation, on how it is going to impact the society, rather than just debarring them, stopping them from doing any activities. We should educate them on what are the consequences that can come out. So that is not being taught. We just tell them, stop doing it, don't do this, do this. But what happens if you do this? And what happens if you don't do this? So that is the gap between what we deliver and what they perceive.
Absolutely.
So that has to change.
Wonderful. So thank you, Swamiji, for engaging this talk till ma'am came back, and welcome you back again, ma'am. Jaswinder, ma'am, welcome you back again for this. Your microphone is muted. Your microphone has to be unmute.
Okay. Sorry.
So Swamiji, thanks a lot. You can stay back, or if you are engaged in some other activities, please carry on, and we are certainly thankful. And he's off. Ma'am, it's so nice to hear from you about the positiveness of this COVID-19. You did mention 4 or 5 points when Swamiji asked you about how can you talk about the positivity of the COVID-19. Thanks a lot for those positiveness in COVID-19. So my next question is the children. If you look at the students, we are going to mainly focus on the children.
Yes.
What are the roles of a parent during this COVID-19 and post-COVID-19? What do you think the role of a parent must be? Is it the same what you see them before COVID? Or you think that whatever they are today doing is right or wrong? I don't know what they do. You are a parent, right? I mean, I'm also a parent. We know what we are doing, but is it that we are doing right or wrong? And if we are doing something wrong during the COVID-19, how do we correct ourselves? And post-COVID, which could happen maybe after a couple of years or 3 years later, post-COVID, it's not going to happen in the next 6 months or so. So what is actually the role of a parent during this current, post-COVID? Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. So before I start with and post
Current
and do.
post, yeah.
I just want to say that the parents should know what is their actual role in this. For example, if we have a stage for Mahabharata, so there is in Mahabharata there is Krishna, there is Arjun, and there is Sanjay, who is the narrator. So their roles are never going to get exchanged. The roles are going to remain same. It's just that who's going to appear on the screen at what time. Yes, so during the COVID, nothing has changed. The roles are there where they were. The role of a parent is actually in a supporting role. We should not forget that they were never in main lead, either during like pre or during or post. They are never in the main lead. The main lead are students and the educator. So they are always in the supporting role, and that's what they're going to keep doing. They're just going to support whatever decision an educator and a student takes. So they just keep supporting the role. For example, if any suggestion is put in place or any arrangement is put in place by the school, and if students are happy and if educator is happy, then the parents need to support this. Because what is happening, the roles are the same. It's just that the students are at home now, so they are performing from home. They are not coming to school. Let's say that. Let's say that we are doing online studies. So this is how the parents come into picture. They just want to make sure that all the support is in place. The children are doing their best to go online, as Swamiji said, that they are trying out new things. They're trying Instagram. They are trying this. They are trying that. So we need to support them and watch them, analyze. That's it.
Ma'am, why don't you put a question to the parents who are listening to us? You have any questions to be asked? Let me see. I have quite a few of them coming on the screen. Gurumurthy is there. Gurumurthy has been active from time we started this talk. Let's ask a question to Gurumurthy. I'm sure he's a parent of a child or maybe 2-3 children, but any question to them on parenting? Let's see how.
Yes, I would like to ask parents.
Yeah.
That because of COVID-19, are they facing any financial disturbance? And if yes, what do they do? Do they discuss this with their children, or whether they refrain from discussing this with their children because of the economical pressure? So
yes,
what do parents?
The parents who are listening to ma'am now is the question about any financial difficulties during the COVID-19 times, and if so, are you discussing with your children? Now talking about the problems that you're facing with vitamin M. Vitamin M stands for money. So you can put your answers onto the chat box and see. And if ma'am wishes, let's wait for about 20 or 30 seconds and see any answers are coming onto the screen. I'll wait for it. Before it comes in, ma'am, like we set some sort of procedures for our children, right? Maybe a post-COVID. And what happens if those arrangements, what has been done for our children, are not welcomed or not agreed upon or not been happy about those arrangements by the parents? What do they do? Okay, they oppose the arrangements. You know, no parent does anything wrong, anything for the heck of it, for the sake of it. They do it because they love the children, no doubt about it. But whatever the parents do, I find in today's children that they don't really appreciate, and they want something more, and they want something wider, they want something higher. So whatever it is, and under these circumstances, what is your takeaway and what is your suggestions and directions the parents must take to make their children at least contented, may not be satisfied? Let's bring them to a stage of contentment. And what are your guidelines on this? Over to you, ma'am.
So first thing, sir, we need to understand that these young minds are continuously challenged by the amount of information they get from social media. They are not same like what we were. We never used to get bombarded with information. These days, even if I'm on my WhatsApp, I can actually see students online till late 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night. So what they are doing, they're just getting information and their mind is running all the time. The mind is busy, the mind is confused, the mind is facing. So that mental fatigue they face all the time. And that's the reason we feel that they are not contented, because they are overloaded with information. So we need to, as parents, we need to understand.
Yeah, 1 minute. One is on the parent side, the other is the students. So it could be two different answers from your side. What a parent could do and what a student could do if they're not happy about the arrangements, what is being made. So it should be a two-slopped answer from here. Parents, what do they do when the children are not happy? Children, what should they do? Not with the parents, to themselves when they're not happy about the arrangement. Sorry for the interpretation.
Okay, so let's start with the children then.
Yes, that would be better.
If children are not, if students are not happy with an arrangement, what do? So the first thing is, let's take a positive approach. The first thing, we ask the students what they are happy about in that whole arrangement. Yeah, because an arrangement has number of tasks in it, a number of sections in it. So we want to ask the students, are you unhappy with the whole arrangement, or is it partial? So first we should start with what all things they are happy about. So that is the first point. That's a positive approach, to ask them what they are happy with. Let's start with that. Okay. So let's pen down that. And then whatever is they're not so happy or not very happy about, what we can do about it. So I think the approach should be positive. We should always never start with the negative thing that we are not happy with this, we are not happy with this. That's fine. You're not happy with this, acceptable. But first tell me what you're happy with. That's it. Then the students, they come down, they loosen up. That is very important, because as I said, their mind is continuously engaged. So it's very important to loosen them up. So first thing we ask them, oh, okay, fine, you're not happy, that's fine, but tell us what you're happy with. Let's start with that point. And then they realize that the situation is not that bad. And when the situation is not bad, when both the sides are positive, there is a positive outcome.
Ma'am, you did ask a question about the economical or the financial problems the parents are facing, and that was a lovely question. I have not got any answer from the parents. That means they don't have a problem as far as the finance is concerned. That could be the right answer, which I suppose so. But the fact of the matter and the truth is that across the world, people have lost jobs, and for the last 3-4 months, they are just living on their little savings that they had made up during their working tenure. People have lost jobs. People are now getting 50% of their salary. People have been asked to come, they were asked to come maybe twice or thrice in a week, and they are paid for that. And there are a lot of chaos what is happening in the job market today. And removing a person from it's not a healthy sign, but it's not that the companies want to check their employees off, but even the companies are not finding it that easy to pay because their businesses are down. And that is on the corporate world. But even when you look at the school factor, when the schools, now since we are talking about the education, even in schools, I find certain schools, the students are not able to make the payment as fees to the school because their parents have lost the jobs, right? And when they don't make the payment to the schools, the school is not able to make the payment to the teachers. So it's a vicious circle that's been happening for the last 4, 5 to 6 months. And I'm confident about the fact that this is going to continue for many more months to come. And situation, and especially India, if you look at the Indian growth in GDP, which we expected something close to about 6 to 7% before the attack of COVID-19. But the fact is, in the last quarter, that we have a contraction of 23.9%, which is the highest ever our economy have seen, or our economy has seen so far. And me being an economist, I assume and presume that the entire year for up to March 31st, India's GDP would be contracting around 7 to 8%, and then it could take on to 2-3%, and it will take about a couple of years for India to reach a level of what it was before the COVID-19. So this is what is happening. There will be a generation of demand, but the purchasing power parity of people, individuals would certainly be dropping because the economy as such is totally confused, and there's a lot of the VUCA world what you talk about. It's totally volatile. So nothing is certain and predictable. So under the circumstances, I see like the future is totally dark and bleak. So what is your suggestion when you ask this question to the parents? Should we discuss about this economic problems, the financial troubles that we are facing through with our children, or we should keep it away from them because they are children? They may be 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 18 years. And why should we share our problem? As a parent, I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to share this with my children because let them be happy. After all, I mean, why should I? Let me suffer, but not my children. That is my feeling. Whether it is right or wrong, it's up to you to tell us about it. It's right to say or wrong to say. Over to you, ma'am, about your views on this question, what you asked with the parents. Over to you.
Okay, so let's not forget that this COVID-19 is like a history in making. It's like history, and for many years we will remember or we will refer to these times. And that's the reason I feel that the students or children, depending on their age, should know about. We should not keep them away from the financial pressure or the financial crisis that people are facing, because it's the community has faced that. The entire world, the global is going to face this, and because it's history, I think the children should know about it. But the only thing is the pressure should not be there. It should be like an information, yeah, because they learn from parents' experience, so they know, okay, something was good and something is not very good now. So something is wrong or something is going down, but they shouldn't be totally ignorant about it, because then the things will not work. Because as you said, if it's going to be really, really dark, then the kids should know about it, because then they also to some extent come in supporting role to support their parents. So it's the whole situation is hand in hand. So depending on their age, if it's an 8-year child, then maybe on small things we can make the child understand that you can't have 2 chocolates, you can have just 1, because everybody, even the Sanjay's dad is like this and your dad is like that, small references. But if there is a teenager at home, then I think we can actually discuss the whole thing with a teenager. Yes.
I think that was the right answer. And I'm sorry when I said I will not like to share my problems with my children. I'm wrong. My hands are up. Both the hands are up, right? I mean, I've got quite a few right answers. Yes, I am facing a financial issue. And I do share it with my daughter. There's one answer which has come. And another answer, it is right to say to share. And that's wonderful. I think our parents are really bright enough to understand, not like me. And there is a question from Jyoti, and she says, these days we are seeing an increasing level of pandemic fatigue, right? And that's correct. What she says is that it's going to increase further. In fact, it's not going to be what it was, and it's going to increase month on month. And she wants you to tell us and suggest certain guidelines when this pandemic is becoming totally fatigue. What is your guidelines and suggestions on this? One of the parents would like to know about it.
Thank you, Jyoti, for this question, because I actually wanted to touch somewhere mental health in this whole program. So when we say pandemic fatigue, I'm sure it's mental rather than physical. Yeah. So how do we handle this mental fatigue? So different people, as Swamiji said, different people do it differently. Some people like to go for a marathon, just just shed it away, doing a physical activity. Some like to watch TV. Some like to just sit with their family and discuss. So I would say, because we all are facing this and it's like an unprecedented situation, or what we call as that God's act. So I think the best thing is, in this case, is that people will just learn to fit into this environment and look at the positive things, be positive, talk to people, talk to your relatives, talk to your children, get into a sort of a game with them. So this is the whole thing, how you can shed this fatigue. Yeah, because see, the best thing is the family is together. Let's say that everybody has come home. Whoever was working outside has also landed in India. So everybody is in their homes. Somebody who was in Mumbai has come back to Tamil Nadu. So we have to, the family is together. That's the best thing we should look at. The educator is trying its best to provide education. The children are doing best to accommodate online education. So if everybody is playing their part, if everybody is doing their level best, then I think we should not panic. Yes. See,
I mean, ma'am, like we're talking about those. I'm sure you have gone through the NEP of 2020, the new national education policy, which will come into force immediately. Therein, where they have mentioned about one of the learning skills, for the 21st century students, is that on collaboration. When I talk on collaboration is one of those skills, and then of course they talk about communication. You're talking about the English medium, I mean communication. Then we're talking about creative thinking, critical thinking. So these are the four learning skills that one should adapt to in the 21st century. Now, when you come into the mental health, I always believe and still appreciate the fact that mental health grows when you are not individually secluded, sitting in a corner and studying. Your mental health grows when you are with a team of your peers, right? Even when I used to work for corporates, it always used to be fun mixing with people around, and I always used to say, I was in the sales and marketing. I used to tell my salespeople, look, boy, that if you want to get business, please count the number of you have shook hands with new people. The more number of handshakes will lead you to more businesses. And that's a true fact. And I still agree with that. The networking process. And I started off in 1980 as a salesman in a company from UK. There's a place called Birmingham. I had visited there those times, Birmingham. It's called Avery, WNT Avery, which makes this weighing machine company. It is from UK. And we were taught that you must count the number of shake hands. That what they mean is that you must meet people, talk to people. You should share your ideas and thoughts, and then you progress. But in today's context, when you're talking about the mental health, ma'am, there is an opportunity for our children who really used to enjoy being in a team, pushing their friends. This side, he falls down, he comes and gives a beating to his friend, and they both cry, and the teacher holds. All those fun is missing today. I mean, 6 months, ma'am. And we are going to, next 2 months, 2.5 months, we are going to end 2020. I'll call you ma'am, Jaswinder ma'am, Happy New Year to you. Before that, I'll say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We have lost out the charm of being in a crowd, in a team. And when you miss the team, what are we talking about collaborative skills? Where is the situation that you can learn and then improve your mental health? What do you think about whatever I said now? Is it right? Is it wrong? If it is wrong, my apology. If it is right, could you explain further on that? Over to you, ma'am.
I fully agree with you on this point, that where is the room for collaboration? Where is the opportunity to collaborate?
Absolutely.
So we are like sort of situation where we don't have that air to collaborate with. So I fully agree with you. But then again, the technology has taken center stage, as we all know. And when it comes to children, they are very, very flexible. Let's remember that. The flexibility that they have, nobody can match that. They can actually sit on a game of Xbox for 8 hours. Yeah. Just talking to each other, because when they're doing an online game, they're actually talking to each other. So they don't even feel as if they have missed the classroom. Because I do sometimes see my boys screaming on top of their voice when they're playing Xbox. It looks like as if they are in that room, at least 4 or 5 people are there, but actually they're sitting alone. So we should not be very worried about our children because they have that flexibility where their mind overpowers their body sometimes. Because their mind is like so full of that game where 100 people are running, especially if they're watching football or something. So I think it's the situation. Just tell them to be flexible, and once they come to know, okay, now pandemic or coronavirus is not there, we can go out. They just go out. So children are made up of that. We are not. We are like rigid people. I wanted to go for my walk. So today I'm not going for my walk, so I'm feeling bad. Because we are done. We are like done people in life. Whereas children are not like that. They have scope of changes. There's something called transferable skills. I have learned this in England. When I came to England in my interviews, I learned something called transferable skills. So transferable skills are like, how do you transfer your ability from one set of situation to other? And then you should master that. Not necessarily that you have done engineering or I have done physics BSc, so I will do my job only in physics. I will do in something else because I have learned so many things on the way. So all these will be used as transferable skills. So I think we as parents and educators should give insight to transferable skills. So don't worry about it that if your kids are sitting at home or playing on an Xbox or learning something different or getting into a new concept of Instagram or Twitter or anything, this will lead to some kind of skill. It's just that we need to, in a supporting role, we need to control that unnecessary sort of engaging, unnecessary.
So, all right, so thanks a lot. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, that's all. Over to you. Yes.
See, Preeti ma'am, she said, really children mental health is affected during the pandemic. Now, Preeti is talking about already the children having affected their mental health. So it is going to be a post-cure. I mean, you can give some sort of tips for Preeti as to how one could get out of this mental health, get back to the normal mental health, right? So that is a post-cure. But in advance, right? You're not caution yourself saying that, look, let's not get into this mental health during this pandemic. So what are the things that one can do, so that your children don't get into this mental health problems? And if they have got into mental health problem, ma'am, what are the ways to get out of this mental health? That's what I think Preeti wants, that answer from us. I hope I've made it clear to you. Right. Prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. Absolutely. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. So Preeti, I would like to say that what is happening these days, whatever is happening, blame it on COVID-19. The situation is like that. Whatever happens, we say blame it on COVID-19. This happened because of COVID. It's not like that. Maybe, see, it's now more than almost 8 months that the COVID is in place.
Absolutely.
The children are growing. So 8 months, sometimes a 15-year-old teenager, when they become 16, they suddenly change. So nothing to do with COVID-19. It's just that their physical and mental evolution is continuously going on side by side of COVID-19. So maybe the mental health or the frustration is because of the age and not because of COVID-19. So we should not always say that because of COVID-19, this act is coming. Maybe the other factors are also there and COVID-19 is just one of them. So COVID-19 is just one factor and there are so many other factors affecting children at the same time. So maybe the situation at home, maybe the parents are getting frustrated, that's why the children are getting frustrated. So we need to find out that it's not just COVID-19, it's the other things which are impacting each other. It's like a interdependency kind of thing is happening here, where so many factors are affecting each other. So what we need to do is to entangle this whole concept. So we cannot say the mental health is affected by COVID-19. No, there are many other factors that could have affected their mental health. For example, my kids sometimes get frustrated, just because they don't want to speak to me. So I just leave them alone. Yeah, I don't go and bother them. because it's the age factor. Earlier they were 16, now my elder one is becoming 17. So there is slight difference in him. So it's not COVID-19, it's the age. So I would like to tell Preeti that you have to consider all the factors to mental health, because mental health doesn't get affected just by COVID-19. There are other factors that are contributing the whole thing. Maybe they're not getting space at home, maybe they want to go down and kick something. You know how it is, how children are there. So I appreciate that you have come up with this question, but instead of just saying that the mental health is directly associated with COVID-19, no, it's not. It's the other factors which may have influenced the behavior. And one more thing on mental health I would like to say is that never measure mental health in terms of academic progress. Mental health has got nothing to do with academic process. If your child is smiling, if your child is eating nicely, if your child is joking with you, if the child is screaming on top of his voice when he's playing an Xbox game, that means everything is all right. So you don't have to worry. So don't get unnecessarily worried. Education in its place, it is going slow, we know that, but the educator and students are working towards it. So parents, you know, their job is, again, I'll come back to cooking, that cook some nice chana bhatura and whatever their favorite dishes. This is what we need to do. So don't worry too much. Yeah.
But too many chana bhaturas, you know, you make your children become obese, right? And that could affect their health in the future. I've seen, you know, because earlier, you know, they don't go out to play because of COVID-19. They don't have that games like football, hockey, all those cricket, because they can't go out. So, and they sit and watch. They sit and watch in the television or on a laptop on live classes being taught from the teachers from their homes. And meanwhile, what the mothers died, hearing, like you said, chola bhaturas, they make a lot of chola bhaturas, a lot of snacks and give them. And I've seen children whom I've seen like this. When I see those children today, they put on at least about 10 kilos extra. And I think it's nice to give them what they want, but within the limit, I would say, because today I always say, when I do my classes, I say, look, one of the reasons for this corona to come and make friends with you is because of your obesity, right? So I tend to, you know, pardon me if I'm wrong, but more paratha, aloo parathas and all those stickies and all could add more weight, and your children can bloat in the next few months, and you know, these coronas are dangerous, they'll attack them. So be careful on that front. But as a mother, I know what you mentioned is totally right. Now, coming back to those live virtual classes, ma'am. Earlier it used to be going to school, we have those surprise tests, we have weekly tests, daily tests, quarterly, half-yearly, annual, board examination, that examinations. Today things have changed. Yes. And our parents used to be called once in a quarter by the class teacher, by the principal. The principal talks to, like many times my mom has come to school and she has been fired by the principal saying that what's the son doing? You know, so these things will not happen now, because today exams are all live. And there is no fun on those type of live. And how does a parent evaluate the progress of a child in his or her learning? Is there any way to evaluate it? Those times, you know, you have a progress report. We don't know what the questions are asked. We don't know what's happening in the class. Today, the parent knows everything what's happening. Even while writing the answer, the parents could see whether, may not help him or her, but at least see that what she or he's writing is right or wrong. So is there a way to evaluate the child's progress in their learning or understanding of a particular subject or a topic, ma'am? Over to you.
When we say to measure your child's progress, first is, let's not compare them with other children. That's the mistake every parent does. I must have done that 100 times. So let's not compare one child with another child, the progress. What we need to see is their journey. You have to look at the entire journey, where they started and where they have reached. That is very important. So you just can't overnight start to measure. It has to be done over a period of time. So you should know where they were before and where they have reached now. So if they were 35% and now if they have reached 65 or 70%, that means there's 100% progress, isn't it?
Absolutely.
attitude parents should have. They should measure it over a period of time and stop comparing with other students, because everybody's journey is different. What that child has gone through to get that 60%, we need to look at that journey. And no two kids are like, even my both sons are not same. One is good in something, the other one is good in something else. So I don't compare them. I just see their journey. If this person is started here, he has reached here. Even in our business life and in our professional life, we just need to see our journey, where I was and where I have reached. That's it. I think that's the important indicator.
Coming back to yet another question on this particular subject, like, is there any way to find out in which field or in which area our child is bettering himself or is at his best? Is there any way to find out whether he's good in games or athletics, not by winning prizes, but what I talk is the aptitude of a child. Is there any way to test and evaluate the aptitude of a child? And that's coming up in the new educational policies, You find them where they are skilling the best and then bring them out and make them the best, right? Is there any way to find out, ma'am? It is easily said than done, oh, my son is good in this. How do you find out? And how, if at all, if there is a way in UK for those children to, for those parents to find out, we need to bring it to India also so that the job of our parents become quite easy. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. So I would like to use an example here of my own son. My son, he's in now grade 9, and he's on the heavier side because of the Chana Bhaturas. The younger one. So now what happened? He likes football, okay, but he was not selected in the team because he was overweight. Okay, so he was thrown out by the PE sir that you're not fit. There are better students, so he was not selected in the team. He came back home and he was very, very sad. And then I asked him what happened. He's saying, no, Mama, I'm not in the football team. I was doing so well and, I know all the techniques. Yeah, he feels he knows all the techniques. So what I did, I just wrote an email to his PE sir and requested that because he has such a passion to do football, so even if he is not successful, but the football is making him happy. So what can you do? Can you do something for him? And because this is UK, every email, every request is taken with a lot of respect. And the next day, Ranjit Singh comes home and he's saying, oh, Mama, I'm in the team. So I'm very busy tomorrow. I'm going to come late. I said, oh, you're in the football team. He said, yes. And then the next day I was expecting if he comes back, he's going to inform me what is happening. You won't believe, sir, he was actually the extras in the team and he was sitting on the bench all the time when the football match was going on, but he felt he's part of the team and he was so excited sitting on the bench. Oh, this is happening, that is happening. So this is what parents need to understand, that not necessarily that person is getting medals, but we have to look at the passion. Okay, so there are 3 indicators I feel to decide where the child needs to go. The first is the passion. Passion means what they want to do, right? Passion is what they want to do. Then comes the second indicator is the skill, what they can do or what is their capability. So these 2 indicators, and there was another indicator. The third is yes, the third is where they want to deliver this. This is very important. The parent should understand if he's doing engineering, is he going to deliver in Tamil Nadu or is he planning to go to Mumbai or is he planning to go abroad? So where he's going to deliver this whole skill. So these 3 indicators are very important. You must address passion of your child. Very, very important. So my son, even if he's not good in football, he might become a football agent. This is what he says. Yeah, okay. That I'm going to become football agent. I'm going to manage all the players. I'm going to manage their bidding. I'm going to manage what they get paid. So this is the way it is. So maybe he will not physically play football, but he will be associated with football.
That's enough. If you can't become a doctor, at least you can be into something paramedicals,
Yes,
that's what we are. You can work in a hospital and be still serving the patients. Not that only doctors do serve. That's absolutely. Exactly. You said it right. You said it right, and I fully agree with you on that, ma'am. And my final question before we wind up, it's 5:15 here. And since you are off the screen, so we have taken about 5 more minutes to add to the experts' talk. My question today is my understanding of the teachers in March when this lockdown started. Our teachers, I'm talking about the Indian teachers. I'm not talking about the UK teachers, but the Indian teachers, ma'am. Oh, what? Absolutely no exposure into this, virtual teaching process. But, this teacher profession is all about. It's like, army soldiers. When the war is declared, cut, everybody goes to the battlefield. So when the lockdown came and it was not opening up, our teachers today talk about the technology of, WebEx, MS Teams, live MS Teams, you talk about Zooming. So, they caught on to this technology so fast. That's because they are a teacher. And I certainly say kudos and congratulations to each of the teachers in India for bucking up and waking up and getting on to this hold so that there is no break in teaching and learning process. I appreciate, and we all should appreciate our teachers' kudos. But then my question to you, ma'am, is how is it happening in UK and how is it different from the Indian teachers? How is that UK teachers onto this virtual teaching process? Is there anything, both about India and UK, but I know only about India, may not be knowing much about UK. So if there is something, some process which is being appreciated well in UK, whether we can bring it down to India and help our teachers to work with much higher and better efficiency, which would add flavor and value for our children in process of learning. That is what my final question to you is all about. Over to you, ma'am.
I think this is a very nice question, that how the system is, I wouldn't just say teachers, but how system is different from UK to India. Okay, now the system, have you heard of this fire exercises? Fire exercise. Yes. So in UK, we have fire exercises. That means even if the fire is not there, every month, once in a month, there will be a fire alarm and everybody has to run outside, stand there and wait for the fire instructor to come in to check everything and then allow everybody to go inside. So these are called emergency exercises, which in India we don't do. So, so when emergency comes,
even sorry to say this, even if the real fire, those execution structures don't work.
Yeah. Okay. So pandemic is as good as a fire. Right? And why the teachers or the system is unable to handle it, because we never exercised it. We never exercise any pandemic situation or any unprecedented situation. So what we need to do is to have those drills, those competency levels. The teachers are teaching every day. They come, they open their books, they teach and they go. Nobody is innovating anything. There is no training. There is no support for teachers. Like, okay, how we talk about mental health for students, we must address mental health for teachers. Very, very important. Even teachers are human beings. Even they may have some problems at home related to their partner or to their children or to their parents. Yeah, and they come with all that mental health. They come to class, they start their lesson, and then they transfer that mental health, that negativity to their children, to their students. And that's the reason, when something new comes, they are not able to grab it because the mind is dead. There is no motivation at all. So I feel in between talking to your teachers or giving them sort of a drill, giving them something, a meeting every now and then to talk about innovation, to know what's going on in their mind. Is there to appreciate teachers who come up with ideas? Because if we don't appreciate them, the ideas will die down. The teachers will die down and the ideas will die down. They will never come up with anything. So as you said, like before we started this session, that you wanted people to participate, so you gave them some gift, and the students were alert. They were participating. So same goes for teachers. We need to pump up their competency levels. Very, very important. That's why in England, we've got something called CPD, which is called as continuous professional development. And this is what we lack in India. We don't have CPDs. So CPD is every teacher is given an opportunity. given a timeout to think or to reflect on themselves. So they are given that timeout, whereas in India, we can't give them a timeout. They are always busy. We should give them a timeout. We should give them an opportunity to study further or to develop a skill. We should send them for a training every now and then. And this is the only way we will be able to handle situations like this.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, we'll have to whatever.
Yes.
Begin well, and it was so nice having you, and you have certainly enlightened all of us with various positiveness as far as the COVID-19 is concerned, and it was certainly a valuable and informative discussion that we had today. And indeed, thanks would be a very small word to tell you, but I have to, complete my duty, because I always say thank you on behalf of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham that you had taken up your time in the morning and been with us on a particular show, showing us the ways of being positive during the tough times of COVID-19. So thank you once again on behalf of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham for being with us. And before we wind up and sign off from this expert speak, over to you, ma'am. What are your final say on this positiveness of COVID-19?
I would just say that I'm from India, so my half mind is like, always because I'm from Kendra Vidyalaya, you're also from
we are KVNs, no doubt about it.
We both are KVNs, so we know absolutely what we have gone through. So it's easy when I'm in this side of the world. I can just feel what you're asking for and what should I deliver. That's the only thing. And thank you so much for bringing us together.
Oh, wow. And yes, all those parents who had asked questions to ma'am for her or his clarification, a big thank you to all of them who have viewed and asked questions too. So please stay fine-tuned for such talks from the experts, which would make us more informative individuals in the future to handle such COVID-19. And as you rightly mentioned, one of those takeaways from, I'll give you one of the takeaways, which was on the drill part of it, the fire drills, which is certainly something new for us. About CPD or something like that, right? And thanks a lot for such information. Over to you, ma'am. You can take any number of minutes or hours, and only when you say go ahead and close this talk, I would close it. Over to you, ma'am.
I just want to say that I do like to connect to parents. They can connect to me for any problem, for any mentoring. I'm always available. So I will give my details to sir, and then you can just share with them. I don't want to do it now, but absolutely. I will send my details. I've got my own channel where people can come for information, and sometimes they ask me for a topic and I do a video on it so that everybody can see it. It's not just one. So
okay. In which case, people want to be in connect with ma'am, you can always get back to us on my number. Ma'am, can you just put your number onto the chat box so that they can come back to you, and then we can take it forward to ma'am and then get any such issues or clarities that is required. Can you put it on the chat box? Your number? I don't remember your number. Yeah, just put it on. What's your number?
I'll do that.
Please do it.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah, just put it on. So that's my WhatsApp number.
Let's not leave ma'am just like that. We'll be in touch with her, and she has put it on to that.
So WhatsApp is free. They can call me anytime.
Absolutely. So nice of you, ma'am. I mean, that's something very encouraging, right? But any time is like her time. Time is different.
5 hours difference.
Yeah. Now it is close to about 12:30 there from where she's talking. 12:40. That is the noon, and we are somewhere around 5:30. So about five hours difference between us, and so we just calculate that when she's sleeping, right? Just one call her and wake her up and say, look, I have a problem like this. But anytime during the day of hers, right?
You can always leave a message.
You call it as what? British Standard Time, BST?
It's 12:52 here now.
Oh, okay, 12:52 to be precise on that.
Yeah.
So we have put our number onto that, and yes, you also have that 0044. That number is also there. With ma'am's number is also available now. Ma'am, it's very sad to leave you now, but then but then we will remain in touch, and then we'll
Yes.
contribute towards betterment of our nation, Bharat.
Definitely. Yes.
Our nation, Bharat, though you are in UK, right?
Yes.
It's our nation, Bharat, and we'll take it forward and then help the society in improving their policies in education, and let them be the first and not second to anyone. So thank you once again, ma'am. This
Thank you
is
so
Medul
Thank
Krish
you.
winding
Bye-bye.
off from Amrita Vishwavidyapitham. Till we meet again, it's a big
Yes.
Jai Hind from
Jai
all of
Hind.
us. Thank you so much. Good day.
Thank you.
Goodbye. God bless.
Bye-bye.